Hello. I don't know you. I don't know where you come from, where you're going, or why you're going there. I didn't know myself in the same way. Remember being a kid? Of course we remember our earliest years of living. We would wake up, see the smoke rising from the massive landfill we call home. Our orphan brothers would whack us on the head and yell, "I got it!" And we would feel the goop from another enormous bug cake our hair. We would roll out of the plastic tarp we live in, grab the metal bucket, and trudge back barefoot to the garbage heap to start looking for something to eat. Remember those days? Yeah, I don't either. I won life's lottery by being born in a first world country to middle class parents. But I do remember having a childhood, and you may share some of my memories. Picture this. You wake up and go to school. After school, you go play with your friends, or listen to music, or play games, or help toss hay bales, or whatever your life was about. Looking back, I was completely without direction. Sure, I was given a direction. I was told what to do. I followed the plan I was given. Every day was whatever the day was. And then I got dropped off in Adultville, and I had no idea what to do. Now, I had stuff to do, of course, but I had no direction, no path, no rules, no plan. I just sort of made shit work and kept going. Do you have a similar experience? I mean, some of us have the template thing throughout our lives. Parents pay for college, we go to law school, we go to work, we go home, 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 and then we die. What a life. But I digress. Some of you are like me. You wake up without a template. No idea how to make one. So you collect things to do. Cobble together what looks like a plan without a direction, which inevitably leads to dissatisfaction. Maybe your template got tossed in the trash by your asshole roommate, and all of a sudden you have no idea what to do. Those crises of life. Your wife left you penniless and a wage slave to her lifestyle. Your kid fell off a ladder and died. Your house burned down. They finally let you out of the chicken coop to roam free after kidnapping you at age 2. Whatever the crisis, we are eventually faced with a point where we simply don't know what to do with ourselves. How many times have you heard about the 50-something guy that drops half his savings on that black convertible? Midlife crisis, they call it. You realize you've been following a script you aren't happy with dying for, and now you're gonna do something about this. What's really going on here? I've been thinking about that sense of feeling lost. Once I returned to zero, and if you don't recognize this term, see the description for another video. What then? Sure, I go get a job and just, live? But is there a right way to do it? More importantly, is there a right way to do it for me? Is there a general principle to help me make my life mine? The fundamental problem I've identified is the permanence mindset, I'll call it. It's this idea that we need this pre-planned pathway all the way to the grave. This is akin to what financial planners suggest. They give you a picture of your working life, then retired, then death, and you have to set goals for your money throughout each section of your life. Many of us look at life like this. I have to get through college, then get a good job, then play golf till I have a stroke. Then my grandkids can kiss my cheek on my last birthday at the nursing home. What the fuck is this? Some of us take life day by day. I go to my job, spend my paycheck at the casino, rinse, repeat, till I'm on disability, get diabetes, go to the hospital for my third right lower extremity amputation due to gangrene, again, and just keep doing that until I die. Again, what the hell is this? Going MGTOW and returning to zero. I'm free. I must create a mental model to live my life the best way. The right way. My way. Here's what I've settled on. I call it project mindset. What is this? It's both a temporary and permanent mindset. It's a mental model like an on-off switch. The basic idea is, all things I do must be confined and capsuled in a project model. And then when the project mindset is off, whatever you're doing doesn't really matter. You're just hanging out, basically. A project, however, starts with a desired outcome and an actual outcome. Projects can be small, like cleaning that filthy shithole you live in, or becoming the Pope. Here's an example to illustrate. I want a back porch on my house. That's the initial concept. What do I want? What do I want to end up with? That's your concept. Not the wood type or spacing between the boards. Those are details of the planning process. Not the parties you'll throw on it or relaxing nights watching sunsets and swatting mosquitoes. That's your motivation for the concept. The concept is the only thing to focus on within a project. The what do I want? Not the why, not the how, just the what. Why am I harping on this? Because we've been conditioned into a reward-punishment mental model of life. Why did you want good grades? Because you would get praise or avoid punishment. Why did you draw that picture when you were 6 and then show it to mommy? You wanted praise. Why do you go to work? Because you're building something? You're getting a paycheck, a type of reward. And you're avoiding your boss because you don't want punishment. When you're in project mindset, however, you're alone. No reward, no punishment. Just the results of your work. See, we aren't conditioned to want the results of our work. We're conditioned to get the rewards or avoid the punishment. These have nothing to do with the work itself. So now, when no one is there to reward us, what do we do without these motivations? We're left simply being motivated by the expectation of an outcome of our work. It took me a long time to grapple with this. Here's another project. I want $1 million. For some reason, I've decided I want $1 million. Call me crazy. Once you've decided on this project, why doesn't matter. Once I've decided on the result, now how is all that matters. If you complete the project, all you have from your work is the what you wanted. With me so far? I'm laying out the mindset one must develop when all you have is you, alone. No one cares if you become a millionaire, or are broke for that matter. But you have decided what you want, and you are the only one who will ever know about it. This is the humble frame of mind. And if you want to know about my definition for humility, see the description. Now, I want $1 million. How do I do this? My first step is to look at my options. What is a realistic picture of my options? Let's say I make $50,000 gross annually, $45,000 net. My expenses are $21,000. I can potentially cut my expenses to $18,000. I can save $27,000 a year. It would take 37 years to make $1 million. Is this worth it? This is the most important question you must ask yourself before starting a project. First, you have a concept. Then you figure out if it's worth it by looking at the full scope. Say you want to become a lawyer or a doctor. Are these projects worth it? The time and expense, the risk of failure and massive costs with nothing to show for it, is it worth it to obtain the original concept? Or at least the possibility of obtaining the original concept. Now, I want to spend $21,000. I don't want to cut back to $18,000 a year in expenses. It would then take 41 years to make $1 million. Now, is this worth it? Say I'm 40 years old now. I would be 81 years by the time I'm a millionaire. I can live to 100 years old on $1 million at $50,000 per year spent. So, would $1 million at 81 be as valuable to me as it is at 40 years old? Maybe. In truth, looking at it that way, assuming I still have decided to pursue $1 million, maybe I've changed why I'm pursuing this goal. The project character changes. All this must be worked out before starting the work. I can change how I look at the goal. I can say, maybe $1 million isn't as valuable now, but perhaps I can say, I want financial independence, really. I don't really want $1 million. In truth, I really just don't want to have to be an employee. That changes things. So, how can I not have to be an employee? I start looking at my options. I need $21,000 a year. Maybe I need $300,000 to buy a business or a couple rental properties. At a savings rate of $24,000, I can make $300,000 in 12.5 years. I'll be 52 years old. That's actually doable. So you see, in the process of planning, your concept may change. Now you set out to achieve the goal completely satisfied that it's worth it, it's possible, and the benefits outweigh the costs. Now we have the concept of project mindset. You wake up in adult land. What the hell do I do? I can do anything. But what should I do? Start a project. You decide what you want. You then find out how to do it. Then you decide if it's possible and if the benefits outweigh the costs. And then you pursue the concept or goal until it's achieved. This is entirely different from do as I'm told till I get a pat on the head or slap on the wrist. In a system or institution, we are pursuing what we're supposed to. Outside the system, there's no rules. You must decide what to do. But there is a general guideline toward a life's direction that can apply universally, namely project mindset. Going more broadly, you can organize your entire life this way. Every time you're doing something, anything, can you visualize this as part of a specific project? This concept gives your actions meaning. This concept gives your life purpose. Whoa! We just made a leap here. You see, instead of finding purpose for your person, if you want to know my argument for why we not only don't, but shouldn't have a purpose in life, see the description. Instead of finding a purpose for your person, you are creating purpose for your actions instead. Some projects are short and temporary. Some are long and permanent, but none of it gives you purpose in life. Instead, you are giving purpose to your time, actions, and effort. It's an entirely different perspective on the old question of what is my purpose in life. Instead, your actions have purpose within the context of a project or overarching plan you yourself created out of nothing. Your purposeless life is now surrounded by purpose you've created, and rather than feeling like you deserve approval from the system, a god, or your society, you no longer pursue those things. You pursue growth, perspective, learning, experience, mental clarity, wealth, power, objects, or something to be proud of. What is my purpose gets replaced with what am I doing and why? I'm tying these two things together because I don't believe that we naturally ask, what is my purpose in life, because of some inherent assumption that we have a purpose. Think back to your childhood. When did you start asking what your purpose was? I bet it wasn't your first thought. I didn't think the question until I heard somebody else ask the question. What is the natural state of man's mind related to this concept? It is the mind of the child. The natural state of this concept is what we were born with at the point of 0. Again, see the description. We must reclaim it for ourselves now that we are grown. There is no reward from someone. Only the work of your hands that really matters. My athletics trophies I got from high school are in the garbage somewhere. My medals from my short time in the army are in a drawer somewhere. My drawings I was so proud of 30 or so years ago are probably methane at this point. Everything we count as reward given to us from the outside evaporates and blows away. So what are we doing all this time? We need a new direction, a new frame of reference, a new reason for getting out of bed in the morning. I call this concept project mindset. You get what you get. Once you got it, you get something else. You have pride from completing your 3rd marathon. You have money. You have a building to live in. You have a degree that lets you practice medicine. You have a car that runs now. You have the work of your hands and what it produced. All these results have a purpose you gave them. You gave them life. You took your life that was empty and filled it. You don't have purpose. You create purpose for the options you had available. This is what can guide you in a directionless, empty existence. So think, are you bored with life and tired of doing something you don't really want to do? Start a project and fill your empty life with purpose. Thanks for listening.